It's the last day of May. We've had a week of absolutely glorious weather. My spirits have been lifted, and there is just so much going on our homestead that it's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the growing year unfolds. I'm Zorab, and this is Byther Farm. I've made this video with the intention that it will be published at some point during the autumn, winter and maybe very early spring, when I'm feeling tearful and low and struggling with the light levels, to remind myself and also to remind you that actually the cogs turn, and it isn't too long before it's spring and then summer, and there is so much in blossom at the moment and so much potential all around me. This was recorded in 2020 when the country had been in lockdown because of a pandemic, and we're now at the end of week 8 of being very cautious about our movements, and for a great swathe of us being advised, in fact not just advised, told to stay at home. I've been really conscious, really since this started, that we are in such a privileged position here. We have a home that is adequate in size, that Mr. J and I can both have a bit of space from each other. We have a huge garden that I have the choice of working in whenever I want to come outside, and Mr. J is a key worker and so is also out of the house for great swathes of the week. And that means that we're not right on top of each other with the sound of each other's voices and the mess and the chaos that we're creating actually kind of like all around us. We don't have small children to look after. And because we grow our own food, we have plenty of food in our cupboards, and I know that other people have been struggling financially and with food. It does make me appreciate how blessed we are, how fortunate we are, and how comfortable we are. And so Liz, when you're struggling in the winter, just look back on the summer and see how much time you got to spend outside and to enjoy it and feel that gratitude. I'm not beating you up for feeling sad and for feeling low right now, but I do want you to remember what a gorgeous spring and summer you had, and try and find some comfort in those things. I had planned to do quite a lot of travelling around the UK this summer and film at other people's gardens and talk to them about what they were doing. And I felt really frustrated and sad in the actually, proper sad sense of feeling unhappy that I wasn't going to be able to do that, because I really wanted to have a series of videos to be able to share over the winter when I find it so hard to make videos. But instead of that, people have been absolutely wonderful and have been filming so that I can create some videos. I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same as going to people's gardens and being able to ask the questions immediately. And do you know what? I think there's a dragonfly stuck in the polytunnel. I'm going to go and get it out and then I'll come back. Now, where was I? Talking about other people making videos. So you'll have seen some of them already, videos where other people have filmed for me, and it would have been really nice to be able to walk around their gardens and just ask them questions about things that we see at the time. But that wasn't to be, and so maybe I'll try that next year. The other thing that I want to remind myself about when we're going through that rubbish time in the winter is of lockdown hair. I was planning to get my hair cut just before the movement restrictions were announced, before we were told to stay indoors, which meant no going to the hairdresser or having the hairdresser come to us, because there was no way that she was going to be able to cut my hair and be 2 meters away from me at the same time. My hair is not that long. So for the last 8 weeks or more, my hair has got longer and more wild and out of control. And I will see if I can find some of the photographs of the truly awful hairstyles that have happened over the last 8 weeks, as I've washed my hair, or I haven't washed my hair, or I've used a lot of hairspray, I've clipped it up, I've had it down, or on a day like today when I washed it this morning, and now I can't do a thing with it. It has been, if nothing else, it's been one of those sources of amusement of just how awful my hair has looked, and how pleased I will be when eventually we can go back to hairdressers. Now, I have my own fault. I have cut my fringe, so I look I did a bit of a pudding basin job on it, which when it's back, it doesn't look too bad. But as soon as it falls forward, it becomes very obvious that it was a pudding basin, and I haven't cut the side bits, so I have these very long, these long bits here, and that is all vanity. But those are the things that will amuse me, I think, in the winter. Because I think I know my sense of humour is fairly self-deprecating during the winter. Well, actually, most of the time it is. But during the winter, when I'm on a low, hopefully, just looking back at some of the terrible mess that my hair got into will bring a smile. I'm sitting next to the Nepeta, I don't know how to say it, and I always say Nepeta, however you say it, something. It is looking lovely. I would like to take some really nice photographs of this. It's beautiful. It's somewhere between mint and sage in its flowers, and the smell is mint with something, possibly tomcat. So Monty likes to sit right in the centre of it. And I promised myself I wouldn't do that. So what I'm hoping is that by the time we're watching this in the winter or spring, that I have lost a little bit more weight, and I've got rid of my bingo wings, because I was saying to I talk to Erica very regularly, probably more than once a day. But I also talk to Lorella and Trish over at Willow Creek, and Kath, Mama Grows, who are other YouTube channels, and we talk via the wonders of modern technology. And I was saying something to them one day, and I went, it's over there, and then I saw the bingo wings, and I was horrified. So I'm hoping by the time I'm watching this, one or two things has happened. One, that I've lost enough weight that I don't have the little fat deposit at the bottom. Or two, that I've done so much exercise that it's all toned up now. If I haven't done either of those, it actually doesn't matter. So I'm not going to allow myself to, don't beat yourself up, Liz. If you haven't done it, it's okay. It would be nice if you have. It'd be nice to think that you found the energy to do that. But if you haven't, it's all right. Do you know how hard it is to talk to your future self? It's really easy to talk as though you're in the past, talking to you now. So that's the sort of thing that you learnt in the past. I've done a couple of videos about dear younger me, so things that I would have told myself, knowing what I know now. I wish I'd known back then. But it's really hard to decide now, here in May, what I might want to hear in November, December, January, February, and March next year. And that does sound like an awfully long time. That sounds like 5 months, but you know, I'm usually, once I get beyond the 21st of December, I focus on the 21st of December because that's the shortest day in terms of daylight hours. So I kind of do this countdown, knowing that once we reach that, things are going to start lifting again and start getting better. But it's actually a really, really long period between December the 21st and when the light and more to the point, when the temperatures get good enough to be able to be out in the garden. So don't give yourself a hard time about it. It is like it's a 4-month period, and if you need to just rest, Liz, do that. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I'll just say you've got that exciting thing happening. I've written a book. It's called Grounded, and it will be published in February, but you can pre-order it now. I'll leave a link on the screen and again in the video description. It is very warm today. It's very warm today. There's a lot of plants looking pretty crispy. The plants that I planted out yesterday evening, I made a little hole in the ground. I watered just into that hole, planted the plants, watered them. They're like flat on the ground, totally dehydrated because it's been so hot. So I'm going to go and water some of those and hope that picks them up. They will be long gone and eaten by the time you're watching this. So I hope you enjoyed those lettuces, Liz, and I hope that your VegBox customers enjoyed the lettuces. Well, that's it from me. And so wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for the day, I hope it's a good one, and I also hope you'll join me again next time.